The most valuable gift you can give your narcissist is the gift of your absence. And in this short video, I'll tell you why the narcissist needs it and how to see it as an act of power and love. Hi, I'm Joanna Kujath. I'm a transformational mentor and the author of Unveiling the Narcissist. I help highly empathetic, intelligent people enmeshed in crazy-making relationships go from inner chaos, chronic confusion, and instability to clarity, certainty, and inner peace. People who don't appreciate you, let alone demean you and humiliate you, are not deserving of your presence, let alone your kindness, generosity, or resources. The reason why your absence is a gift, because everyone who says yes to the narcissist or continues playing their charades, they are enabling the dysfunction. By their compliance, conformity, and allegiance to the dysfunctional family, for example, they are perpetuating the cycle of abuse. As they all tiptoe around the narcissist's volatility, their behavior actually supplies the narcissist, and therefore they are co-conspirators. This is not love, because you have to have the ability to say no and protect yourself and your loved ones from harm. Love doesn't mean that I forever and always say yes. Love sometimes also means no. And let me know in the comments below if this resonates for you. If you believe that by removing yourself from their life, that this is a loss, or you are emotionally burdened with regret, you ruminate or reminisce, you're leeching power. There is a time and place to feel like that, but at what point does it become a pathological state? If, however, you can see your absence in their life as a gift that you chose to give them, then you retain power of that loving decision. Many highly empathetic people completely disregard, are unaware of, or seem to misunderstand the notion of tough love. The ability to tell a toddler, do not touch that stove because you'll burn your little hands. Whose responsibility is that? The toddler's? They don't understand the consequences of touching that burning stove, so they repeatedly keep trying. And a loving parent exemplifies tough love and firmly says no, because he or she knows that that child's life could be on the line if they don't say no. And let's face it, it's so tiring to continuously be in the parental role with a grown adult. We are parentified in these relationships because we're constantly on edge about what crazy stunt they'll pull next. How many times did we allow the narcissist, who's emotionally a toddler, how often did we allow them to make important decisions that ended up in catastrophe? Decisions about money, about relationships and family, about commitment. And how many times did they disappoint us, betray, or didn't follow through, or simply did a disappearing act? This is what toddlers do, not adults. Adults understand what it means to be responsible. Toddlers don't. They only pretend to be interested. So then they can cleverly dodge all responsibility. Even if their whole life is falling apart, they will still continue on their self-destructive path and try and convince you that they know what they're doing. But by the evidence of the train wreck of personal relationships, addictions, unending conflicts, financial mismanagement, all of this, which they try to sweep under the rug, eventually precedes the charade they're trying to pull off. And by turning a blind eye or minimizing what we know is happening, drug addiction, alcoholism, physical violence, sexual infidelity, this behavior and irresponsibility continues. Nobody enforces consequences. Narcissists even think that they are above the law. Apparently, nobody can hold them accountable because nobody can say no to them. I mean, it's the epitome of arrogance. And perhaps it comes across as simple to draw the line with these people, but the reality is that these relationships are extremely complicated and there are many ties that bind us. However, out of our fear of repercussions of what the narcissist could do if we say no, we may fail to protect the innocent. And also, our own innocence is taken from us because we remain present and endlessly available to these people. Those who tolerate the narcissist stage production all orbit around their demands, expectations, and inadvertently propagate transgenerational trauma. And there's no sugarcoating that. However, when you give these people the gift of your absence, your own self respect and dignity grows. From a higher vantage point, when you rise above engaging with these people from an ego level and start to see your situation with inner eyes, your absence will be an opportunity for them to learn that there are certain boundaries that must be respected in healthy relationships, that there are consequences. They can continue remaining emotionally stunted and repeatedly doing the same things, insulting, attacking, defending, triangulating, but you just won't take any part in that relationship. So you are offering them the option. You are giving them a choice. It really is an act of love and consideration of all their deficiencies. People need to know that your life, energy, and time are valuable, and this applies in all relationships. If someone repeatedly violates your boundaries, even after you've let them know indirectly and directly, then don't stick around. Don't remain available. Instead, consider giving them the gift of your absence. When you stop engaging with them, it will increase your perceived value. It gives them the loving opportunity to reassess whether you actually enjoyed their company or not, because it's not a one-way street. Becoming more distant or absent is how we communicate that no, we were not enjoying their company, so we will step back or remove ourselves completely. And if this is something that you'd enjoy learning about or you really need help with, please leave me your details below so I can contact you once I finalize my more intensive program. And there's a link in the description box below. I'm really going to be diving deeply into all of this because we've all sacrificed too much for too long. Yes? It's time to finally overcome and transcend all of this. To a narcissist, the gift of your absence communicates no. It's a lesson they failed to learn as children or as a result of trauma. Do you see how they actually need this? We may never know exactly why they are the way they are, and that can become irrelevant at some point because they can use their history as justification for their abusive behavior, which yet again shows you their resistance to being held accountable or wanting to grow. And that's why they still behave like toddlers. Don't perpetuate this never-ending stunted childhood and metaphorically invite them to step up by removing yourself, by giving them the gift of your absence. And you must do it with sincerity, not to punish them or try to get a reaction out of them to see if they care. Again, it must be done from love because you can see with your inner vision from a much higher vantage point, perhaps from your soul's perspective, that perhaps you are the one to teach them no, since everyone else was afraid, or the narcissist was successful at hoovering and love bombing them back into compliance. This is allowing them to continue in their hurtful ways towards you and others. That's why it's a gift, and they actually need this. You're no longer reinforcing the abuse. It's quite a powerful role to play in their life. It's hard. And for a long time, I felt resentful that I was always the one forced to make these heartbreaking decisions because nobody else would or could. But then I asked, if not me, then who? When I said no and finally meant it, it was the most assertive act of tough love my narcissistic father had ever experienced. I was the only person in his entire life who didn't fold, didn't deviate from my decision. And he played this game very successfully and manipulated many people for decades and was proud of it. I'd already given too many chances. So when I finally gave him the gift of my absence, he had the opportunity to show he could make amends. But yet again, chose not to. You see, they'd rather be right than have a loving relationship. They will not budge or show humility, empathy, or consideration. Whether I devoted another 10 or 20 years of my life, the end result would have been the same. Narcissists aren't capable of doing what's required to have intimacy, love, or even friendship. They will never see your value, even on their deathbed. I waited and waited. There was no recognition, no apology, no remorse. It was sad, but not surprising, to finally see that my absence from engaging in this soul-crushing relationship, that it was also a gift to myself. So I urge you to remember the value of the gift that you are. Your presence is a gift, your time, your energy, your resources. Offer it to those who treasure and value you. Let me know in the comments below what you think about giving someone the gift of your absence.